Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. It is time for a bit of a book haul. I just recently counted up all the books in my house, and I know that when I got to the end, I needed 48 more to get to 2,000. I'm pretty close today, but I just want to say out front that I am not going to be keeping a running tally of the books that come and go from my house. That was like a moment in time. I had that many books at that moment in time. I'm not going to try to keep track because it's too much. I'm constantly adding books to Pango and selling books there. I'm constantly bringing books into the home, and I just don't want to track it. I don't care. I wanted to know, and I did. I learned. But here we go. We're jumping into a book haul, and I'm not going to get a new number by the end of this. Some of these were already on the bottom of my cart and they already got counted. And I didn't feel like going back to figure out which ones already got counted. So here we go. We're just going to move on from here. I have a book outlet order. I feel like I've only placed one other book outlet order this year. Their prices have gone up a bit, and I find that I can often find books for cheaper on Pango using Pango bucks. Because I sell books on Pango, I get Pango bucks, which means they're free. Book math. I also have a handful of books I bought from Pango, mostly because after the virtual reading retreat I did in August with my besties, after that retreat, I had a whole list of recommendations from people who came to the retreat, and I immediately went on Pango and did a little bit of shopping. And because I'm one who tries to make use of the sales that people put in their Pango shops, I have extras as well. I have one that I bought straightforward on Amazon. So some of these you may have seen in weekend vlogs. Some of the gifted ones I may have already talked about. I don't even remember. They've just been at the bottom of my rotating cart here and ready to be talked about in a video. So here we go. Fall haul. Let's go. I'm going to start with my book outlet order because it's right in front of me. And 5 of these books are board books. I think this is going to be my little Nuggets Christmas gift because I just don't know. I went a little crazy with the board books on book outlet. So I got Mr. Brown Can Moo, Can You by Dr. Seuss. She really enjoys making animal sounds, so I thought this would be a fun book to read with her. I got the Foot book because it's just fun to read. Hop on Pop does a lot of rhyming and it's silly, and I think she's going to have a good time with that one. Are You a Cow? Sandra Boynton is one of my favorite children's book authors, and so this is just a fun one. Everyone in her family has an animal that represents them, sort of, and my little nugget, hers is a bunny. So I just thought this was really cute. Bunny Roo, I love you. And it has such cute little illustrations inside. So I thought this would be a sweet one to add to her collection as the little bunny of the family. So those are all leaving my house, but for now they're here. Then I just got a couple middle grade books from Book Outlet. I'm excited about these. Heather Fawcett, who wrote The Encyclopedia of Fairies, wrote this one, The Islands of Elsewhere. Just looked really cute, a little fantasy. I got the 4th book in the Myrtle Hardcastle series by Elizabeth C. Bunce. I've read the first 2 now, and I have book 3, but I didn't have book 4. So I'm slowly collecting this series in hardcover. And it's a really fun mystery series where Myrtle, our main character, is 11 or 12, and she's super smart, loves chemistry, and helps solve crimes. And then a fun one is The Millicent Quibb School of Etiquette for Young Ladies of Mad Science by Kate McKinnon. Oh, look at the end papers of that. Nice little map there, which is always fun. And this does have quite a few like illustrations and different things in it. I've heard the audiobook is great. I think Kate McKinnon herself narrates it, but you need to read it with the book because there's just a lot of illustrations in there. So that looks like a lot of fun. A book that's already going to go on Pango is Apprentice to the Villain. This is not the first time you're going to see this one in the haul. If you watched my recent weekend vlog where I went to the mountains in the western part of Virginia, I bought this at Green Valley Book Fair, and I forgot that I had already put it in my book outlet order. If I had only opened that box when it first came, I would have remembered, and then I wouldn't have needed to buy it at the book fair. So I have 2 of them. One of them is going to go on Pango. And that is the sequel to Assistant to the Villain, which I'm hoping to read in October. I bought this one, really pretty, The Pomegranate Gate by Ariel Kaplan. I just thought that was really pretty. I think this was on my anticipated reads list. Fantasy set during the Inquisition, and I think it's based on Jewish folklore and Jewish myths. A book that I've already read, which I'm going to complain about because of the packaging. It is totally bent and crinkled, but I've already read this one, Decluttering at the Speed of Life. I listened to it on audio from the library. It is one that I feel like I could refer back to and read specific chapters because it's broken up by rooms in the house. So kitchen, bedroom, craft room and hobby space, closets and clothes, bedrooms. Yeah. So I feel like this could be a helpful resource. I really do like Dana K. White, and I watch some of her YouTube videos as well and listen to her podcast. So I was excited to find that on Book Outlet. And another one that is going straight to Pango is A Sky Beyond the Storm. I do technically own this. Where is it? I own it in hardcover. And on Book Outlet, it said it had this cover, which is what I have all the other ones in paperback. It had this cover pictured in paperback. That's what I thought I was getting, but this is what showed up. So I'm going to be contacting Book Outlet about the messed up decluttering at the speed of life and about posting the wrong picture, sending the wrong message. So that's going on Pango because I'm not keeping that. I want the paperback that matches the other ones. I'm not like always super particular about that, but if I was going to find it for $6, like why not? For now, I have it in hardcover in the matching cover. It's fine. It's fine. Let's go through this pile of Pango books and the book I bought on Amazon. We're just going to go through this stack. This one I bought on Amazon, Across the Ages by Gabriel Meyer. I am going to put this on my rotating shelf because I would like to read this sooner rather than later. This is book 4 in the Timeless series by Gabriel Meyer, and I'm loving it. It's a fantastic series. I've enjoyed each and every one. This one is going to be pirate. 1727, kind of a piratey time period, but also 1927, St. Paul, Minnesota, the daughter of a renowned preacher. So totally different. I'm really excited to read this one. And then one that I picked up from a little free library. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this or not, but The Full Moon Coffee Shop by Mai Mochizuki. I really enjoy translated fiction. I thought I would try this one out too. Translated from Japanese, charming and magical novel reminds us that it's never too late to follow our stars. Cats are a symbol of good luck in Japan. As the myth goes, if you're kind to them, they'll one day return the favor. And if you're kind to the right cat, you might just find yourself invited to a mysterious coffee shop under a glittering Kyoto moon. This particular coffee shop is like no other. It has no fixed location and no fixed hours, and it seemingly appears at random. It's also run by talking cats. Okay, this one might not be for me because I am not a cat person. So I may just add it to Pango. I might give it a little try and see. I don't know. I couldn't leave it there because it just looked like fun. And now onto this Pango pile. Look at all these books I've bought from Pango recently. Okay, most of them are random, added on for the sake of the sales that I was getting in order to get free shipping. I don't know that I'm going to be keeping all of these. I'm going to give some of them a try. We'll see. But we have Fable by Adrienne Young. I have liked some of her adult novels, but I'm not sure about this YA fantasy Fable. It was all over when it first came out, but I don't even know if people were loving it or not. So I got that as an add-on. This is one that was definitely on my TBR, Miss Morgan's Book Brigade by Janet Scaslien-Charles. I did read The Paris Library by her and really liked it. Books on the cover. I mean, what's not to love? I grabbed this nonfiction by Susan Cain, Bittersweet, How Sorrow and Longing Make Us Whole. I feel like that is a book that is right up my alley. I mean, everybody experiences grief and sorrow and longing in some way or other. So I feel like that is going to be an interesting nonfiction to read. I did pick up this middle grade, Safia's War by Hiba Noor Khan. World War II, about a Muslim girl in Paris. Her Muslim identity keeps her safe, at least safer than her Jewish neighbors. But violence lurks around every corner. Her best friend has fled. Even her beloved library is threatened by the invaders' fear of books. Inspired by the true story of how the Grand Mosque of Paris saved the lives of hundreds of Jews during World War II. I think that's going to be a really interesting take on World War II that I've not read before. And it's middle grade, and it did win some awards, I believe. Or was like a Newbery Honor, or was talked about as a possible award winner. I don't remember, but it sounds like it'll be really good. This book, The Names by Florence Knapp, I heard about when I went to a meetup in Raleigh earlier this summer. A couple of the women who came were talking about this one and were really, really liking it. They said it's so different from anything they've read before. The extraordinary novel that asks, can a name change the course of a life? This book spans 35 years, and it's going to have 3 alternate and alternating versions of their lives, of this family. So based on what she names her son leads to 3 different paths, which is super interesting. The Names explores the painful ripple effects of domestic abuse, the messy ties of families, and the possibilities for autonomy and healing. The ladies who talked about it sold me on it. So I wanted to give that one a try. So different. Another nonfiction that I have heard about before, Mary Roach's Stiff, The Curious Lives of Human Cadavers. I've heard that this is funny. Stiff is an oddly compelling, often hilarious exploration of the strange lives of our bodies post-mortem. For 2,000 years, cadavers, some willingly, some unwittingly, have been involved in science's boldest studies and weirdest undertakings. In this fascinating account, Mary Roach visits the good deeds of cadavers over centuries and tells the engrossing story of our bodies when we are no longer with them. I remember hearing a lot about this book a few years ago, and I just thought I would throw it in as an interesting nonfiction to read. I mean, this one was a no-brainer, The Boxcar Librarian by Brianna Lebuscase. I didn't need much more than the cover and the title. A Depression-era novel about a woman's quest to uncover a mystery surrounding a local librarian and the Boxcar Library, a converted mining train that brought books to isolated rural towns in Montana. Sold. Another middle grade that I've kind of picked up randomly because it has 3 awards right on the front of it. Too Bright to See by Kyle Lukoff. I don't even know what this is about. It was a finalist for the National Book Award. It won the Stonewall Book Award and a Newbery Honor, which is fantastic. 11-year-old Bug is used to haunted things. After all, the occasional cold spot or mysterious slamming door is to be expected when your house is almost as old as the dirt it sits on. It's a little bit of a haunted house vibe there. Another one that I threw in because of the cover and the title, The In-Between Bookstore by Edward Underhill. I knew nothing about this one, and I still don't. But it looks cool. And it's not very long. It's super short. And then this one showed up in conversation, maybe with my patrons, I think. The Poppy Fields by Nikki Ehrlich. She wrote The Measure, which I loved, and I've heard good things about this one too. The Poppy Fields. What if there was a cure for the brokenhearted? Welcome to the Poppy Fields, where there's hope for even the most battered hearts to heal. Only if they're willing to accept the potential shadowy side effect. Ooh, interesting. So we're going to follow 4 people who go through this process. Interesting. This was another cover by from Pango. Look at that shimmery fun cover. The Otherwhere Post by Emily J. Taylor. Has anyone read this one? 7 years ago, Maeve Abernathy lost everything when her father unleashed a terrible world-destroying magic. Desperate to escape the stain of his crimes, she lives under a fake name, never staying in one place long enough to risk discovery. That is, until she receives a mysterious letter containing 4 impossible words. Your father was innocent. Dun, dun, dun. She's going to try to figure out the truth. Sounds kind of cool. 2 more Pango books. Being Mary Bennett was on my TBR by J.C. Peterson. I think this is middle grade. Maybe YA. Harper Teen. Yeah, this is going to be YA. Retelling Pride and Prejudice. I'm always drawn to those, so I grabbed that. And then this is part of a YA series by Brandon Sanderson called The Reckoners. This is book 1, Steelheart. I don't know that I've heard much about this series. I think Firefight is book 2. I don't know how many are in this series, but I'm just going to add it to my Brandon Sanderson shelf and read it eventually. I don't know. Am I going to try to read him to 0? That would be a lot. I already showed these 3. These are the 3 that I picked up from the National Book Festival in Washington, D.C. I grabbed Pocket Bear by Catherine Applegate. This is a World War I story, historical fiction, but also told by animals and going to be super cute. The Long March Home by Marcus Brotherton and Tosca Lee about World War II, soldiers in Japan who participated in the Long March, Bataan Death March. 3 friends vow to make it home together, but the ordeal is only the beginning of their nearly 4-year fight to survive. Oof, I had never heard of that, but it sounds so good. And then The Beat I Drum by Dusty Bowling is the 3rd book in the Cactus series, or it's really kind of a companion. The first 2 are about Avon, who was born with no arms. And then this one is about Connor, who is one of her friends in that duology. So it's sort of related to that series. Middle grade. I'm really excited to have that. Then I have a few books that were sent to me, which is super kind and oh so nice. Eileen sent me this book from her collection, which is a book of memories by Lois Lowry. We just read Tree Table Book by Lois Lowry for our middle grade March book club in August. And Lois Lowry also wrote The Giver Quartet and many other middle grade books. She's pretty prolific. And so this is going to be literally collection of memories through the years. 1962 paired up with some pictures, sometimes not. That looks like it will be super cool. Kind of biographical nonfiction about Lois Lowry's life. Thank you, Eileen, for thinking of me with that one. Oh no. The papers fell out of this. They're around here somewhere. Someone sent me How to Human, and I don't know where the little paper is that says who. I've been trying to tape them. Oh no, here they are. Phew! This is from Martha. Thanks again for accepting my book for review. Oh yeah, because she sent me A Taste of Faith. That's her book that she wrote. And then she sent me this as just a thank you for receiving her book. So I want to read her book. It's on my gifted shelf. And then this is a nonfiction by Carlos Whitaker that I love Carlos. I don't watch him very much anymore. I used to be very much involved with his Instagram stories, like watching them every day. He's just a kind human and talks about humanity and family and life. I just really wanted to support him and also read his book. So How to Human by Carlos Whitaker. Thank you, Martha. That's so nice. Beth, one of my patrons, Beth B, sent me this book because she was reading it. We had some Patreon sprints a couple weeks ago, and Beth was reading this book, and it was also recommended at the virtual reading retreat as well, which is where I think I first heard of it. And then Beth talking about it really sold me. And then she sent it to me. So nice. When the Cranes Fly South by Lisa Ridson. This is originally written in Swedish. It's blurbed by Frederick Bachman. Big blurb by Frederick Bachman, which is so rare. He doesn't do that all that often. He says, a tender tale about aging, our own and others, and the quiet brutality of love. About what being a man is and what being a human is. About fathers and sons and fathers and dogs. It's really a book for anyone who's had to say goodbye. The kind of book you give to someone when you're really trying to say, I've been thinking about you, but don't know how. I've just heard such really good things about this. Older man taking stock of his life. I love an elderly main character. Thank you. Thank you so much, Beth, for sending this one to me. I'm pretty sure this one came from Sharon, who's another friend in Southern Australia. What? She's not in Melbourne like the others. She's in Adelaide. But Sharon sent me a cute little card and this book from Australia, Fiona McIntosh, The Fallen Woman. They made her fall, now watch her rise. Botanical artist Jane, devastated when her manipulative mother banishes her to the countryside to protect someone else's honor. Isolated far from home, she's forced to live an impoverished, secretive life to save the family from public shame. Set in the English countryside in a forgotten orchard and beneath the ancient spire of Salisbury Cathedral, this is a heart-wrenching story about a woman who finds that in her darkest hour, she can harness her greatest strength. That sounds so good. Thank you so much, Sharon. Man, it's so fun to get packages from overseas. Holy moly. Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, she also sent me a tote bag. I think I must have done that in a haul because the tote bag's already in my bedroom or in a weekend vlog because I already have the tote bag. It says Books and Jams on it, which is so cool. Sharon, again, thank you. And then this one just came the other day. Have started to open it, but then I saw that it was in tissue, so I didn't open it all the way. So I don't even know who this is from because I didn't open the envelope either that has who it's from. So let's see. I'll open the book first and then we'll see who it's from. It's a hardcover. Very exciting. Oh, cool. This is thinner than I thought. The Teacher of Nomadland, a World War II story by Daniel Nayeri. I have a couple books now from Daniel Nayeri and I really need to read him, but this was on my anticipated reads list for this past season. And who is this from? Mamie, stretching out your celebration. Fondly, Mamie. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for sending me this middle grade. This one, again, takes place in World War II. Oh, look at, there's like a chalkboard in the cover. Ooh, very pretty. Oh my goodness. 1941, German armies are storming across Europe. Iran is a neutral country occupied by British forces on one side, Soviet forces on another. Soldiers fill the tea houses of Isfahan. Nazi spies roam the alleyways. Interesting. So against the backdrop of World War II comes an epic adventure in faraway places. Through the cacophony of soldiers, tanks, and planes, can young hearts of different creeds and nations learn to find a common language? Wow. I don't think I've read a World War II book that takes place in the Middle East. So I'm really excited about that. Thank you so much, Mamie. That's so kind of you to send me. And then I did already talk about, these are the last four. I have already talked about these because they were just in my weekend vlog when I went to the Green Valley Book Fair. I picked up Positively Penelope, a Christian fiction rom-com sequel by Pepper Basham. The first one is Authentically Izzy, and I already have the third one, Loyally Luke, on my shelves as well. So excited to read that. The Medicine Woman of Galveston takes place in Texas. When the hurricane of Galveston happened, what year? Does it say 1900? Also, there's medicine shows, and I don't know what a medicine show is, so I'm excited to read that one by Amanda Skenador. And then The Queen of the Valley by Lorena Hughes takes place in Colombia and California, I think. So I'm excited for that one. This was another anticipated read from a couple of years ago. And then silly me, bought Apprentice of the Villain because I didn't open my book outlet box. So one of these is going on my shelves and one of them is going into Pango. And that is it. I think 30 something books added to my shelf. So not quite to 2,000, but we're not counting anymore. We're not counting anymore. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear your thoughts on any of the books that I talk about here today. I am headed out in a little while to go to Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Probably by the time this goes up, I will have come back. So I may have a little add-on at the end if I get any books while there. As I knew I would, I have a few books here from the book festival and my little trip to Winston-Salem, North Carolina that I went on over the weekend. So I have quite a few more to add to this book haul. I got there a little early from my friends that I was meeting up with. Shout out to Kat and April. Well, I went to a bookstore while I was waiting and I picked up a book in there. I saw that they had Theo of Golden on the bookshelf, and so I was talking with the bookseller. So glad that they had that book, raving about it, talking how awesome it was. They're like, she said, do you want to know the book that we've been telling everybody about? And I'm like, absolutely, I do. And it's The Correspondent by Virginia Evans. Virginia Evans is a Winston-Salem local author, so I love that I got a local author book, and it's a book that everyone's been talking about, and I got the UK cover. Look how cute that is. It was like $13 cheaper to get the UK cover than the regular one that has the birds on it. I'm really excited. It's epistolary, like I said. I honestly don't really know much more than that. She was telling me a little about it, but I love epistolary novels, and the description at the end says, witty, wise, and deeply moving. The Correspondent is a novel about love, letters, and the great joys, small tragedies, and unexpected second chances that make a life well lived. That sounds so amazing. So I'm very thrilled to have The Correspondent on my shelves now. Then there was one free book at the festival from Heather McGee. This is a nonfiction called The Sum of Us, and it's what racism costs everyone and how we can prosper together. I really do want to work some more nonfiction into my regular reads like I started out the year doing, and I just haven't been able to do that yet. So this is a powerful exploration about the self-destructive bargain of white supremacy and its rising cost to all of us, including white people, from one of today's most insightful and influential thinkers. I just thought that that sounded interesting and important for our day and age, so I grabbed that. Then I did want to pick up one thing from the bookstore that hosted the event. It's from Bookmarks in Winston-Salem, which is actually also a nonprofit. It was a nonprofit first. They're the one that hosts and puts on the festival, but that's just one small part of what they do. Now they also have a bookstore, but they also do a lot of literacy and reading events all over the town. It's a town that's very highly focused on the arts, and so they wanted the literature arts to be a part of that as well. So I didn't find any books in there that I needed to buy right away, but I did find a fun puzzle. This is called Book World by Gallison, and it just looks like a lot of fun. So I grabbed a puzzle from the bookstore, and then the rest of these I got from McKays while we were there. It felt weird to go into McKays and not have a bunch of books to trade in, but I forgot that there was McKays nearby, and I didn't really have anything right now ready to go. So these are just ones that I got. I'll start with the most expensive and go down to the cheapest. So from my want to read list, I picked up Mrs. Quinn's Rise to Fame by Olivia Ford. This one was $8 for a hardcover though that's in perfect condition. I'm excited. It's going to have an elderly main character and a baking show. I mean, what else do I need to know? I definitely am interested. Then one that was on my anticipated reads, it's a middle grade by Alice Hoffman, When We Flew Away. This one was $6. And it's the novel of, it's like a reimagining or a historical fiction of Anne Frank's life before she wrote her diary. So before World War II, what was her life possibly like? That's what this is. So I'm excited. I don't think I've read an Alice Hoffman middle grade before. So I'm looking forward to that one. I picked up the second in a series for $3.50, Death Comes to Marlowe by Robert Thorogood. I do have the first one, The Marlowe Murder Club, on my shelves. And it is also in paperback, so I'm glad that they're going to match. And it was only $3.50, so how could I refuse? And then for 75 cents, I picked up a Christian nonfiction, She Reads Truth. I believe this is a story of like how the She Reads Truth movement or organization came together. It tells the story of two women who discovered through very different lives and circumstances that only God and His word remain unchanged as the world around them shifted and slipped away. Sometimes it takes everything moving to notice the thing that doesn't move. Sometimes it takes telling two very different stories to notice how the truth was exactly the same in both of them. So I'm excited to read that, and it was only 75 cents. That's the additional books to my book haul, and now back to my regular outro. I'm so thankful for all the books that were sent to me. I'm thankful for Pango bucks, and thankful for people who shop in my Pango shop so that I can use my Pango bucks to get some fun new books. Yeah, and let's chat down in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts on any of these. Any that you want me to read sooner rather than later. Any that I should put on my TBR spinner shelf here. And if you've made it all the way to the end, but you're not feeling chatty, go ahead and just put a stack of books or a colorful book. I think there's red, blue, green, yellow. Put a book emoji in the comments just to let me know that you were here watching this haul. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes of your day to spend with me. I really appreciate you all so much. And I look forward to chatting with you in another video very soon. Bye.